what's your opinion on buying a house? Do you think it's a good investment? Do you think it's a wise investment?
Do you have a house? Have you bought a house in the UK?
I haven't bought a house yet.
I don't have a house. I don't know if I'm. I think investing is quite personal.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of personal circumstances you have to account for, a lot of nuances. So if buying a house, because that's a bit controversial, if buying a house is a good or wise decision, I think it's up to you.
Okay.
But objectively, by the numbers, you have to. I have friends that have bought houses, and when they've done the numbers, why they're buying a house makes sense. But most times, buying a house is not an investment. And it's fine that it's not an investment. Like, we all do things that don't necessarily have to be investments.
Why do you say buying a house is not an investment, though? Or why do you think so?
Because when you do the numbers, if you had put that money in another asset class, so if you put that money in stocks, or if you put that money in the S&P 500, for example, the chances are it would have outperformed. And most people only just consider, and again, it depends on a lot of things. I wouldn't say it's not an investment. It depends on a lot of things, a lot of numbers. Exactly, and it's personal. But most people just consider the amount that you put up front to buy the house. But there's a lot of cost over the years, maintenance cost of having a house. And when you consider that amount, if you had put it in another asset class, the chances that it might have outperformed, there are high chances that it might have outperformed in a different asset class.
Okay, so what would you consider as a wise investment? If, like, what are the things that you look out for that you say, okay, this investment is a wise thing?
Again, back to property. I'm not saying property is a bad investment.
No, I get it.
Again, it's very nuanced. Like, for me personally, I'm not saying I'm never going to buy a house. And even when you talk about investment, there is like rental properties, there is investments that you do for interest, so you're not living in the house. I've forgotten the name right now, but those kind of investments are also there. So there are different types of property investment. There's REITs, where you can actually even buy stocks, but the stocks are property stocks, real estate investment trusts. So there's different type of property investment, which I don't think we have all the time to get into today. Personally, one of the reasons why I'm not buying a house right now in the UK is just for flexibility. I'm still young. I want to be able to, not be tied down by a mortgage right now. So that's the reason why for now I wouldn't be buying a house. So not saying it's a bad investment. And in terms of what is a wise investment, again, investing is very personal. You need to understand your why. So why are you investing? What's your goal? There are different factors to consider. Another one is to also consider how old are you. For example, the way I would invest at my age is different from how someone in their 40s or their 50s should invest. So there are a number of factors to consider when you think about investing. You also need to think about what's your end goal with investing. So there are different factors to consider. So I can't necessarily say, okay, what a wise investment is.
Okay. I'm speaking on the idea of a house, right? Like you rightly said, I don't necessarily think buying a house is a bad thing. I think it's personal. But for me, I think it's about the timing of buying a house, right? And what you're losing, like the opportunity cost of getting the house.
Exactly, opportunity cost.
Opportunity cost. Because if you're buying a house when you feel like you should still be flexible, like you said, right? Buying a house at the wrong time ties you down too early, and then you miss out on other opportunities, like investing in other things. And when you buy a house, you legit too early, you legit just tie all your resources.
It's very illiquid. For example, when you invest in stocks, like if push comes to shove and I need the money, I can always sell everything right this minute and get my money.